All right, now it's time. We actually make this thing bronze. So got it set up again. Camera's as far away as I can get it. Here's some extra light so we can see what we're doing. There we go. Today we're going to be using Vallejo model color bronze. Easy as that. I'm getting the cup loaded up off screen here. And of course, as soon as I get ready to get started, that's when the dogs decide to have a meltdown. Put a tiny bit of thinner and mix this up. So of course, once I mix this up in the cup and then put that paintbrush in, so let's take a look at this here, just like, oh, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be just great. So that's that. Now that I've dipped that in the water, it is donezo. There is so much metallic pigment in this water now, it is useless. So, airbrush coming on. We're going to be shooting at 35 today. I'm actually going to back that down to about 30. And here we go. Mask is on. Cap is on. Time to make a bronze statue. And we got a clog tip. Awesome. Sure, I'm glad I just loaded this up with an incredible amount of sorry. So right now I'm going through and I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing in the inlet on the front edge of the airbrush. Just kind of wipe that on there. Looks great, looks great, looks great. If I need to, I can do this whole thing by hand, but I'm really not looking forward to it. Especially something this size. Put up a bit of a backstop here, so I don't necessarily hose down everything I own. Oh, there. Trying to keep the back spray down. Already went through one cup. So that's pretty awesome. I did about a third of the statue in the first go. I think it looks great. So we're going to reload thinner first this time in the cup. I think that's part of my mistake last time. I like to have thinner right up against the opening of the airbrush nozzle. if you're ever airbrushing, my recommendation as well is a lot of people is always mix with the brush. Some people like to backflow air to mix the cup up. That just freaks me out. I mean, that basically means that paint's going to be moving the wrong direction through your airbrush, and I'll only ever do that with cleaner. All right, mask back on. All right, so go with this second cup. Let's do a lot of these downward angles. These points will weird coverage. I was standing up there for a minute. Sorry if my head's on the way. I'm getting really into this right now. That's probably why. I won't say it's probably, but it's exactly why I'm not talking. Basically at all. Holy cow, look at the size of this thing. And please comment all your jokes in the description below on that one. All right, so round 3, basically loading the airbrush up again. I got it in my little holder here. Loading it up with more paint and a lot of thinner this time. So I'm going to go an above average amount of thinner and mix it up. And the reason is for 2 things. 1, we're going to be kind of slowly building up the coverage in certain areas. And then 2, most of what I was looking to do is already done. So the goal here is not to cover up the undercoating of like the, I'm going to move the light through here so we can have kind of a downward angle so I can see what's going on here. This is a bad choice. Okay. So the goal here is not to cover up the undercoating, which is the black and white gradient spray, to basically take and you let that continue to be transparent. So if I start putting on really thick layers of paint, still a little bit damp, really thick layers of paint, then it will basically immediately cover that up. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm doing areas like the bow and part of his hands with a brush right now, just because spraying small areas like that cause a tremendous amount of overspray to just fly past, and I would rather avoid painting the walls of my basement in metallic bronze. I'm doing my best to keep that brown paper bag splash shield that I'm using up, but that doesn't stop everything, which is why you always, want to wear some sort of air protection against it. So just doing a couple of the tiny spots there, and around the feet. Obviously this isn't precision painting because this thing is so tall. So we're going to reset everything here, get the light back in the position it was in, and we're going to stop, let it fully dry. Actually, correction, let's do one more shoot like this, like that. All right, we're going to go for it. Mask on. Go number 3. Holy cow, I think we're about done. So I just got to build up the area on the base. Woo! Looks pretty good. So at this point I'm going to pull the mask off, switch back to the paintbrush. Got a tiny bit of left in my cup, and I want to do things like the bow, tiny touch-ups here. Tiny areas like in that recess around the palm, the grip of his hand there. And that is the first coat. So adjust the camera back here to the angle we had it at before. That's the first coat. Looks pretty incredible. There's some light spots like around here, and then some areas around here. I'm going to just have to shoot with different angles and then try and clean up a bit. Goal is to basically let this fully dry, and then we'll come back and do a second coat after this. So I know it was a long video, but we'll be back for the second coat.